Second.
It's been seconded by Mr. Van Camp. Questions? All in favor of the motion as stated, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposers? It passes unanimously. Superintendent Spotlight. Mr. Superintendent, Conley Elementary is here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to introduce the principal of Conley Elementary, one of the highest performing elementary schools in the state of Florida, Miss Laura Brooks. Laura, we want to thank you for your leadership at Conley and for the great job that your teachers do there. And I know you've got a great story to tell tonight. Ms. Brooks.
Thank you. We're very, very happy to be back. We were here about this time last year and able to share with you guys. And before we get started, I'd just like to offer from my heart, on behalf of the Conley community, our students, our parents, our staff, our faculty, our gratitude and thanks to each and every one of you, superintendent, board members, for your support of the fine arts. We presented to you last year about the Conley Gardens, and we want to come back to you this year and kind of brief you on something that we shared. We touched on it last year that has come to fruition through hard work and effort, which is something we talk a lot about at Conley. And I liked the quote that the young lady shared with us, that work is real important in accomplishing and being successful. And so I have with me tonight Dr. Marcia Meal, our art teacher, and also Lisa Urban, our assistant principal. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Meal.
Thank you. And again, thank you for your support of the arts. What we want to share with you is a project that started with the concept of passing on skills and knowledge and heritage, and making a public visual statement that was worthy over time. And so the concept of legacy, of how we pass things on, has been a year-long, actually a 3-year-long adventure for the art teachers in Leon County schools, working with FSU Museum of Fine Arts, COCA, TCC, and HERC. And we just had a wonderful workshop provided and funded by the district with HERC and a Holocaust survivor. And how to integrate the Holocaust education into the arts and how it fits. So as we make a visual public statement, what we're going to be looking at is the sculpture. And do I have to point or just? Okay. Maybe this way. There we go. We started working with Mr. Brad Cooley. He's a local artist, and we started from the armature up. Mr. Cooley developed the armature for us. We spray painted it so it wouldn't rust through and break the clay. The students, you can see, started this from the beginning. He gave us a few words of advice, and he showed us how to put the clay on. And so we literally are making a real sculpture. The sculptures you find in front of the R.A. Gray building and everything like that, that's what this is. And the students did it. That's what's unique. So with the help of the students, we started adding the clay on. We even let the little kindergarten and first graders help. Obviously, I had to keep everyone else busy while kindergarten was working for numerous weeks at a time. And so the little ones were sometimes doing things out of plasticine or the old-fashioned school clay. And so you can see this was one of the projects. I think one of the real strengths of a project like this is not only does it involve every student in something that's lasting and meaningful and that they can bring their children back to, but it also really hits a lot of the kids who don't like school. The students who were most interested, the one on the left is very academically talented. The one on the right spent a fair amount of time sometimes in the office. But when he found sculpture, suddenly, there was this interest. The child on the right made it back. The hunter came back for the unveiling because it meant that much to him. He and his partner made those shoes. The two of them are responsible for the whole shoes. This is how the sculpture looked before we returned it to the sculptor. So you can see that most of it was pretty much done. Here is the sculptor, his father, and his son. All of them are sculptors. The son, obviously, a beginning sculptor, but it's a family enterprise, so it fits very nicely into that concept of generations. The theme behind the sculpture is not only to enhance reading, but was also the idea of generations and the idea of making a public statement that's lasting and to promote. And Ms. Brooks absolutely loves sculpting. When I was getting very frustrated trying to get a few last fingerprints out, she jumped right in and discovered that she has a new career when she retires. And so we literally took this to the foundry. So here you see it being dipped in. Here are the mother molds afterwards. Here's the sculpture, how it looks after it's been through the mother molds. Here's the garden waiting for the sculpture. And then here's Mr. Cooley and I putting it in. We had a couple celebrations. Leon County Schools Foundation helped pay for this, gave us the initial funding. And then this is part of the opening ceremony we had just about 2 weeks ago. Mr. Conley is on the left. He was quite thrilled, and we were so glad to be able to honor him and his contribution to education through time through this project. And hopefully this will start running now when I hit the unveiling. Well, it's not working. Okay, so, can you go to the manually to the end? Yeah, just
go to the next screenshot.
Yes, just hit the next screen.
Oh.
And so here's some photographs of it, final project in place and with our mascot. And so there's the final project. Projects like this are made possible, thank you, are made possible even with very limited contact time. I don't know if you're aware of it, but some of us only see our students once every other week. Our budgets run from $100 for 1,000 students to who knows what. I'm fortunately at a school where I can earn my income to fund things. Students in some schools are polled, and the new testing is going to be a real consideration on the direction of the fine arts. So as you make decisions as a board, we encourage you to keep the view of what we really contribute, the problem solving, the learning to work together, those 21st century skills that the other areas don't hit as hard. And remember that we do something other than teach vocabulary and art history in our courses. So if you would, as you make decisions, keep all of that. What is the true nature, the performance part of the arts as you face the challenges that the legislature keeps presenting before you. One last thing, there are a bunch of events coming up. You may know that Youth Art Month just finished. On May 10th, the Generations Show will open at FSU and TCC. On May 18th, we're having a family day at San Luis Mission, where there will be student work on display, and it'll be open to all the families to come out and do hands-on activities related to that. And May 24th, we'll have the Generations reception. And 4 schools will also have an opportunity to paint with an actual artist who's in the show. So the art teachers in Leon County have been really hard at work to make this a community involvement. And that's one of the things that we want to share with you is part of the Generations Show. Who would figure that 5th graders would love to crochet once they got it? My 5th graders are going chain crazy learning how to crochet for a large sculpture piece that we're going to be putting in the Generation Shows at FSU. And so we wish to give you each a bookmark, and hopefully you have something other than an e-reader that you can put it in. So thank you very much.
That's great.
Thank you very much. Very hands-on. Mrs. Rasmussen and then Mr. Crumpler.
Well, I wasn't even going to say anything, excuse me, because I feel like my colleagues and most of the folks who pay any attention at all to this know that this is my standard speech, but I feel compelled to affirm you in what you're saying and to make sure that you know that everything you just said about the multiple benefits of the arts and all of the learning outcomes that can stem from experiential learning and in the arts in particular, you are preaching to the choir, so to speak. This board, I'm proud to say, and this superintendent in particular, we are very committed to the arts in education for all the reasons you talked about, not the least of which is the little guy that really would rather be, go to the office, but now he enjoys sculpting. But the learning outcomes, I mean, the research is clear, and we are very aware of that. I've just been amazed. I work in higher ed, and the research that's coming out even now, but has been around for a long time, a strong body of research to substantiate everything you just said and more. I mean, all the outcomes from the arts are really terrific, not the least of which is enticing our kids to want to be engaged in their learning experience while they're on campus, and to serve their community by leaving a lasting legacy. So, beautiful sculpture, great job, and thank you.
And thank you. I am glad to be in Leon County where you have held the line.
We're doing our best. And we may be in a little bit better shape this year, right, Mr. Superintendent? I just went up there. I was up there today. We'll see.
When we can touch it and feel it, we'll see.
We're gonna hold onto optimism.
Can we touch it? All right, hang on, Mr. Crumpler. Mr. Crumpler.
I too want to affirm what you just said, and this may seem unbelievable to some people in this room, but I have a lot in common with a young man that helped develop the shoes on the sculpture, and I wasn't the one that was the academic. I was the one that was, my principals knew very well. And what's funny is we connected at the opening event, and that young man, I want to tell you guys, came up to me just out of the blue and started talking to me. Maybe it was a kindred spirit of offices and principals in past lives, but he was so proud. He talked to me about how he was the one that made the shoelaces. And the importance of, and I want to commend you as an art teacher and as Dee Dee just said, the superintendent and this board for continuing to fight to keep those in, even the limited dollars that we have, because those are the programs that keep kids like me engaged and wanting to come to school. And like you said, he wanted to come back. He was so proud of the work that he did, and the arts engage those kids and many others, and it just means so much. And so I wanted to affirm what you did. You did a great job at that opening, and I was just humbled and honored to be just a small little piece of that that presentation and that sculpture, and the impact that it had on the kids that were there. The chorus that sang was it was hilarious to sit there and watch elementary age students sing, and it was a great event. I'm very proud to be a part of this school district. Thank you.
Wonderful. Miss Lewis Butler.
Yeah, this is so exciting, having art, because I've had an art show before, and I have a sculpture of me as a bus. And so to have this start in elementary school, this is dynamic. You're so on time, and the students will love this forever, because the skills you stated, they will forever have those skills, social skills and humanities, everything involved in art. You learn the basics in art. Thank you for what you do daily.
Thank you.
Hold on one second. This board, when one speaks, all must speak. Mr. Van Camp.
Yes, just to echo what my fellow board members have said, the thought of not having art and music just doesn't cross my mind, in terms of, when we do planning. But something that a lot of folks may not know that's very special about what happens, particularly in our elementary schools in art and music, is the fact that some of our kids that are in self-contained ESC classes, they get mainstream. I mean, they get into their art, the music classes. They may not be ready for some of the other mainstreaming, but I've seen firsthand what a difference it makes, when for some of these children that do have special needs, when they get their time to go to art and go to music. And I know I won't ever be able to change my mind, because I did graduate from the Miss Benner's School of Condensing. And Miss Benner's, who is the art teacher at Roberts Elementary School, strong supporter of that. And I really appreciate what our art teachers and our music teachers have done, particularly for our special needs kids.
Thank you.
And let me just say, we all speak when we feel confidence and compassion about what the issue is. And this issue, I shouldn't call it one, but it is one that is important to us. We want you to know that we're on your side, and we believe in what you're doing. We think that the art's important, and we look forward yet to having you back again to share with us the wonderful things that you do at your school. Our students are just enhanced when they can have that kind of hands-on experience on a day-to-day basis, so that the learning that they receive can be even more enhanced, because it kind of takes that mix, that balance, to bring students to where they need to be. So thank you all for what you do, and thank you for the wonderful hearts that have been made with loving hands. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just let me add, should
Yes.
you be out in our direction?
Go to the mic.
All right.
If you should be out in our direction, please stop by, because I know many of you weren't able to come to the ceremony where we unveiled the statue.
Right.
We would love to have you have an up-close and personal experience with Clay and Buzz. We can even get you some children that you can read to in our reading garden where
All
he
right.
now lives. Okay,
Thank you for
Thank you,
yet
ladies.
another
Appreciate it.
invitation. Thank you so much, ladies. All right, as we move on, I guess at this point we could say to Wendell and Naya, if you'd like to be excused to go home and get ready for school tomorrow, we could, or if you'd like to stay with us, we'd love to have you. Wendell, if you wanted to sit to Naya's left, you'd be seen a little bit more on television, whichever one you would prefer. And I love that smile. Do you see what he's giving back to us?
That's why I said-
Wonderful.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
some people, when I said kid president, some people don't know what I mean by that, but there is everybody
Video.
knows who,
Yes. Yeah.
hopefully everybody knows. If you haven't, go to YouTube and
Yes.
click on
Beautiful.
kid president. Simon's got a great smile just like you, young man.
Yes, he does. So thank you again. We are now ready for the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So move.
Oh, wait just a second. I'm moving too fast. I need to move back to recognitions from Fairview Middle School Math Counts team, statewide Math Counts competition winners. I'm sorry.